This is tutorial number 21. This is Ben Cohen here. So today I wanted to discuss a super cool video of Hawkins Cheung, who was my instructor, Jin Young. That was Jin Young's teacher. So my instructor's instructor was Hawkins Cheung. Hawkins Cheung was classmates with Bruce Lee, and the kind of a direct student of Yip Man, and regarded as kind of one of the best Wing Chun players to have ever lived. And a lot of the conceptual framework of Wing Chun, my understanding of it, comes from Hawkins. If you follow it back, Jin was heavily influenced by Hawkins, and obviously I have been heavily influenced by Jin. So, although I never met Hawkins, I think he died last year. Hawkins has definitely had his teaching has had a lot of influence on my journey in Wing Chun. Anyway, this video popped up on my feed, and I was thinking about what to do for a lesson today, and what better than to look at Hawkins Cheung doing some chi sao. This video of Hawkins says it claims to be from the 60s sometime, but I think that's probably not correct. I think this video is probably from the it says from the early 60s. I think it's even from the late 60s or early 70s. I think the bell-bottom trousers are probably a sign that it was from the 70s. But anyway, this is Hawkins doing chi sao with one of his students. I'm going to watch the video, actually kind of a cool soundtrack as well, so I will play that. Then we'll go over and analyse it. So there's about 90 seconds of footage of Hawkins doing chi sao, and then once we've watched that, I'll go back over and look at it again. And Hawkins is, you can see who Hawkins is the one doing the kicking and punching, and he's the one moving the other guy back, moving the guy around. So anyway, that was the chi sao. That's it. That's the only footage we have of Hawkins doing chi sao. That link, there is not much footage of Hawkins doing chi sao online. This is the only competitive chi sao that I've seen him do on YouTube that's available. It's really kind of, if you watch what he's doing, it's very high level Wing Chun, and I think it's worth kind of going up and looking at some of the stuff. When I look at it, I can see the early days when I used to train with Jin, probably about 10 years ago. Jin's thinking along in those days was very much in line with Hawkins' philosophy. Jin obviously kind of went off on his own and developed a lot more of his own kind of theories on Wing Chun. But so I can see a lot of what Hawkins does. I learned a lot of this stuff in the early days of training with Jin. But anyway, I'm going to play this now with the sound off so we can just have a look at what's going on a bit more. So one of the first things you can see is that Hawkins really, when he is playing sticky hands or chi sao, he really is sticking to the other person. So he's there's not a lot of when Hawkins chi sao, with a lot of other Chisao, you see there's a lot of disconnecting with the Chisao and standing in one place and just kind of slapping each other's hands. But Hawkins is moving his whole body around and really sticking to the guy. So they touch hands, and Hawkins is pulling and pushing his opponent around. So he pulls him into position, pushes him out again. So it's like grappling almost that you're watching. And he's controlling. If you look at where Hawkins puts his hands mostly, you can see this quite right here. Okay, just watch. I'm going to try and slow it down a bit. I can't do much because it's on YouTube. I don't really have the power to. I can't slow it down too well, but you can kind of see that what Hawkins is doing is he really is he will control his opponent's elbows. So he's always trying to pull the guy. There we go. He pulled him off. He did a lap sail, then pulled him down towards him. Tries to catch his elbow. Steps in. There you go. Takes his blind side. Yep. Traps his elbow. Every time Hawkins traps his opponent's elbow, he's able to maneuver the guy around. So he's really, really, really skillful. And you can see whenever the other guy's elbow comes out of place, Hawkins goes in and pushes him back. So that's just how I was taught how to do Chisao by Jin early on, was that whenever you find a gap, whenever there's a space, whenever the elbow goes out, you go straight in and your whole body goes in as well. So you're not just punching, you're using your whole body. And you can see why Hawkins kind of developed this method, right? Of this is Bongsao Lopsao, by the way, here that he's doing. This whole sequence here is Bongsao Lopsao. Back into regular Chisao. But you can see why Hawkins developed such a sort of an aggressive style of you can just see him push. Look how much force there is at him. He pulls him back, pushes him, uses his whole frame. So this might seem like, to my students, this might seem very like straightforward. You know, of course, this is what you do. But when you look at other people's Wing Chun when they play Chisao, they're not moving each other's bodies around at all. They just stand in position and look for gaps, look for when the elbow goes out to strike. But Hawkins is not interested in that. Hawkins is that when there's a gap with the elbow, his whole body goes in. You can see him. Look at the way he moves his when he, it reminds me so much of Jin, with my instructor's Chisao here as well. If you look at just how powerful his movements are, right? He's going Bong Sao, Tan Sao, but his frame is fantastic here. It's so strong, and his Chisao is look at that. I mean, his opponent is flying all over the place. And Hawkins is a small guy. Hawkins is about 5'1", 105 pounds, I think, on a good day. But you can see why he developed this style, right? Because obviously he was small, and so he had to develop a style that utilized his entire frame. If Hawkins was just relying on his on his speed or his quickness of his hands, he wouldn't really have much of an effect on people. But Hawkins is incredibly good at using his frame. He uses his whole body when he plays Chisao. So, you know, Jin always used to tell me, it's like he doesn't think it should be called sticky hands, it should be called sticky body. And you can sort of see where he gets this concept from. This is like exactly what Hawkins is doing. Hawkins uses his whole body to stick to his partner. You know, so I believe, I mean, Hawkins also did a lot of Tai Chi, so I don't know whether he was studying Tai Chi at this point. I don't see much Tai Chi in what he's doing here necessarily. Perhaps with the sticking hands, I think that, like, again, like Hawkins was a big believer in sticky hands in the way that sticking, that a Tai Chi person would understand sticking, and not necessarily that a way a Wing Chun person would understand sticking. So that was something that that my instructor always impressed on me, was that, you know, when you stick to someone, you really stick to them. You're not just touching hands for no reason. and to kind of roll your arms around. You're really trying to attach your body to their body and vice versa. You're trying to get them to attach to you so you can move them around and manipulate their body structure. And you can see Hawkins is doing this exactly here. He's manipulating his opponent's body structure, their balance, and his opponent is actually pretty good. Like his partner knows what he's doing. He just doesn't have the same kind of structure that Hawkins has, or the kind of fluidity of movement. Hawkins is just incredibly fluid. It's like for me, like watching this kind of Chisao is like, it's fantastic. It's like watching an artist, or a really, really great professional apply their trade. He just masters absolutely everything. Takes the blindside, controls the guy's elbows, goes in when there's a space. His framing is absolutely fantastic. His transition from Bongsao to Tantao, there we are. From this is Bongsao Lopsao here. Everything is just incredibly fluid. His arms don't miss a beat. His elbows are never out of position. Ever. He uses his whole, but there he did an elbow. He did a shoulder strike there. That was. We can look at that again. Whether it was. Yeah, there's just absolutely nothing. It's almost flawless. The only thing I would say that I would differ here, and is that sometimes Hawkins looks like he's willingly going backwards. Sorry, I missed the shoulder strike, which I thought was really good to watch. This is definitely something that Wing Chun people should try to get good at, is using their shoulder. If the person comes in, you can just throw them out with your shoulder. There we go. Pulls them in, gets too close, boom, shoves him off with his shoulder. Anyway, so basically, his whole sort of moving backwards rather. This is the only thing I'll say is that I teach my students not to move back willingly. It looks like Hawkins is moving back willingly, which I don't necessarily agree with per se. It's not necessarily wrong, but I think that you don't want to be moving back whenever. Like, you want to constantly be driving the other person backwards. So that would be my only disagreement here with Hawkins. With Hawkins is him moving back willingly, which I think is he doesn't even need to do that. He can just throw the guy around, but perhaps he's doing it for the video. I know that he taught my instructor Jin to never take a step back, to always be pushing for, always be going in. So perhaps he's just doing it for the demonstration. But anyway, this is worth studying Hawkins Chisao. I watched this. This is something I come back to over and over and over again. I think it's one of the best examples of good high level Chisao out there online. I can't think of a better example of Chisao than this video. It really is probably the best one out there. And you can, if you know what you're looking at, you can learn a hell of a lot. Do I think it's complete? Are there? I personally I think adding aspects of Tai Chi make it better. This is much more purist Wing Chun. But as for pure Wing Chun, this is about as good as it gets. So definitely give this one a look. Just type in Hawkins Cheung Chisao and you can study this. And if there are some other Hawkins videos I'd like to kind of look at again in the future. Probably maybe not for a little bit, but I will go back and dig into some old Hawkins videos, which I think are worth studying. Because he made such a huge contribution to Wing Chun. Anyway, that's it for today, and we'll see you next time.